So I went off in my lunch break. Typically, I like to go off to either a mosque or to a prayer room to do my midday prayers in my lunch break at work. But for the last week or so, because where I'd gone had been closed for a 2-week holiday, I was going down to the local park in Wollongong to pray my midday prayer. What ended up happening was about midway through my first prayer, I heard a yelling and a screaming, and because I was concentrated on my prayer, and this is the specific time between me and God, I kind of ignored that and just focused on what I was doing. But as the screaming and as the yelling became louder and louder, I started to recognize what this woman was saying. What she was saying, and I won't put it as graphically as she kind of put it, was she was telling me that I was an effing terrorist, to go back and fight for ISIS in Syria, to stop praying to that piece of S upstairs, calling me an effing Ali Baba, saying that I was a dirty Muslim pig, and it just kept going on and on. Now, I ignore this through my prayer. After I finished praying, maybe some 10 minutes later, I called the police while I was still in a kneeling position. I let them know what was happening. And then after I got off the phone with the police, I approached her and I sat maybe 5 or 10 meters away from her. I said to her, I said, "Ma'am, what is it about me or what I'm doing that you find so offensive?" And that's when she got even louder and she got more abusive and more threatening to me. And she was pointing to a woman who was down the park area, maybe about 30, 40 meters away, who was playing with several of her young children, and saying that I'm going to go rip the scarves off all the women around here and that they're effing bees and all that kind of stuff. And I said to her, "Look, I'm sorry that you found what I was doing or who I am or how I look or what my religion is so offensive, but I've got a right to be in this park. And I'm just, observing my own values and my own life in a peaceful manner." And that's when she said, "Well, you've got no right to do anything like that. This is our park, this is our land, this is Australia, you're not Australian, you should go off." And it was just a tirade of abuse and threats against my life and against the lives of Muslims. At this point, several other people at the park came up to me and said, "You okay?" One of them had said that they'd already called the police as well. They said to me, "This obviously isn't indicative of what all Australians believe." And I said to them, "Yeah, of course, I've been in this country for over 20 years. I've met the majority of Australians who are great, accepting and really tolerant of different views and opinions. But obviously, unfortunately, it's the minority amongst any community that make the loudest noise." And I started really reflecting upon maybe the experiences of other young Muslims and Muslims in general in Australia, and maybe even minorities in Australia. And I could really feel why they feel isolated and why maybe some of them feel as if they have to go to alternative groups or maybe alternative ideologies to feel accepted. I can see the logic or see why some people might join a group, a terror group or a gang group or any kind of group.